Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The journey of BMS Campus with a humble beginning has evolved into an institution of academic excellence, fostering innovation, creating and shaping the future of next generation leaders. BMS vision of transforming lives and influencing the future is the guiding force behind this success. In order to commence the proceedings, may I humbly request to raise for the BMS anthem.
BMS අපවිද්‍යා භූමි දස දෙසකිතු ගොස සුපද මෑණි මතු ලොව දිනුමට ගුණ නැන දේවි එම ලොව වෙත අප සැමගෙන යාවි
Thank you, and please be seated. May I now introduce the head table. Dr. Pradeep Vijayasinghe, Director of the Soisa Hospital for Women. Dr. Gamini Samaranayake, Vice President, BMS Campus. Dr. W.A. Vijayavadana, President, BMS Campus. Mr. Tushar Namarasuriya, Chief Executive Officer, Singer Finance PLC, and Dr. Mati Kandaya, Dean, School of Science, BMS Campus. In opening our press conference, BMS President Dr. W.A. Vijayavadana will welcome and introduce BMS Campus. Dr. Vijayavadana is a well-known economist, author, and former Deputy Governor of Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Over to you, sir.
ස්තුතියි රජත ජයන්තිය සමරන BMS කැම්පස් එකේ අද දින පැවැත්වෙන මේ මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡාවට පැමිණි ඔබ සියලු දෙනාම BMS කැම්පස් එක වෙනුවෙන් ඉතාමත්ම සාදරයෙන් මම පිළිගන්න කැමැතියි. අවුරුදු 25ක අතීතයක් පවතින BMS කැම්පස් එකේ අවුරුදු 15ක කාලයක් මම එහි ප්‍රධානීය වශයෙන් සේවය කරනවා. නිසා වැඩි කාලයක් BMS කැම්පස් එක හිමිවන්නේ මට. අපි උසස් අධ්‍යාපන ආයතනයක් විදිහට පටන් ගත්තට පස්සේ ඊ타මත්ම කෙටි කාලයකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ මහා බ්‍රිතාන්‍යයේ පිළිගත් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලවල උපාධි ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයේ ශිෂ්‍යයින්ට ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය වැඩ පහසුකම් අපි සැලසුවා. ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම අපි සම්බන්ධ වී කටයුතු කරන්නේ මහා බ්‍රිතාන්‍යයේ කීර්තිමත් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක් වන නෝතම්ප්‍රියා විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය සමග. අතීතයේදී අපි කොහොමද BMS ආයතනය වැඩි දියුණු වුණේ, ප්‍රගතිය කොහොමද ලබාගත්තේ කියන කරුණ අපේ අධ්‍යක්ෂක නිසාම් මහත්මයා ඔබට ප්‍රකාශ කරා. විශේෂයෙන් මම සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ ආයතනයක් වශයෙන් අපි හැම විටකම පිළිගන්න එක સિદ્ધාන්තයක් තමයි පෞද්ගලික විශ්වවිද්‍යාල කියන්නේ රාජ්‍ය විශ්වවිද්‍යාල වලට ආදේශකයක් නෙමෙයි, රාජ්‍ය විශ්වවිද්‍යාල වලට අනුපූරකයක්. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ රාජ්‍ය විශ්වවිද්‍යාල පද්ධතිය ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයින්ට ඉතාමත්ම ඉමහත් සේවයක් සපයනවා. අපි පෞද්ගලික විශ්වවිද්‍යාල වලින් කරන්නේ ඒ සපයන සේවාව සපයීමට තිබෙන යම් අඩුවක් තිබෙනවා නම් ඒ අඩුව පිරවීමට අවශ්‍ය කටයුතු කිරීම තමයි අපි කරන්නේ. ඉතින් මෙතෙන්දී අපි ලංකාවේ තිබෙන ප්‍රධානතම විශ්වවිද්‍යාල වන කොළඹ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය, සීජාවර්ධනපුර විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය, කැලණිය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය, මේ සියලුම විශ්වවිද්‍යාල සමග ඉතාමත්ම සමීප අධ්‍යාපන සහ ඒ වගේම සමීපව අපි කටයුතු කරනවා පර්යේෂණ සඳහා. ඒ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල සමග අපේ තිබෙන ඉතාමත්ම ළඟ ලබදියාවක් තිබෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඒ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල වල දියුණුවත් අපේ දියුණුවත් එක සමානව එක විට තමයි පටන් ගන්න තිබෙන්නේ. BMS ආයතනයේ ප්‍රධානතම තේමාව තමයි අනාගතය සඳහා අවශ්‍ය දැනුම සහිත ශිෂ්‍ය පරම්පරාවක්, උගතුම් පරම්පරාවක් බිහි කිරීම. ඒ කාර්යය අපි නිරත වෙලා ඉන්නවා. අපේ රාජකාරිය තමයි අපි බිහි කරන ශිෂ්‍යෝ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට පමණක් සීමා වූ ශිෂ්‍යයින් නෙමෙයි, මේ අය ලෝකේ ඕනෑම තැනක ඕනෑම රටක ගිහිල්ලා සේවය කිරීමට හැකි ශිෂ්‍යයෝ. ඉතින් ඒ කටයුත්ත තමයි අපි අද ආරම්භ කරලා තිබෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මේ මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡාවට පැමිණි ඔබ සියලු දෙනාම ඉතාමත්ම ආදරෙන් සහ සාදරයෙන් මම පිළිගන්න කැමතියි. Let me welcome all of you who have come to this press conference which we conduct on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee celebration of the BMS campus. Out of the 25 years the BMS had been in existence, I had been associated with BMS for the last 15 years. After I retired from the central bank, my first selection was to join BMS as its president and dedicate my future life for the dissemination of knowledge and also for education. We had a very humble beginning, but now we are a university approved by the government of Sri Lanka under the Universities Act. We can offer our own degrees, but we started offering the quality degrees from recognized British universities. The universities that had been associated with us were the Leicester University of UK, Teesside University of UK, Edinburgh Napier University of UK, and most importantly, the Northumbria Institute of UK. We have had about 23 years of collaboration with Northumbria University, offering their degrees in management, degrees in biomedical science, degrees in biotechnology, and now a degree in food science and technology in Sri Lanka at a very fractional cost to Sri Lankan as well as foreign students who are studying with us, rather than going to Newcastle and study on site there. All these students get the same internal degree because the lectures are conducted by us. We have our own state-of-the-art laboratory facilities established at BMS Campus, and therefore the degree program that we conduct here is not inferior to the degree program being conducted by the Northumbria University for their internal students. All students get the same internal degree. Our mission here has been to develop a global citizen. Why I call a global citizen is that people today have been joined by a single village. Wherever we work, whether in Sri Lanka or outside Sri Lanka, our job has been to provide a service to the global community. So instead of developing a digital native who is confined only to the native Sri Lanka, our job has been to offer a wider outlook for the students who study with us, to enable them to work in any part of the world. And I am proud to announce today, most of our students are working outside Sri Lanka. They don't have an unemployment problem, just like the problem of the graduates in other universities. When they reach the final year, they are picked up by the local companies as well as foreign companies. So therefore, we don't have an unemployment problem, and our students don't have to stand up at Lifton Circus and demand government jobs, because they are employed gainfully either in Sri Lanka or outside Sri Lanka. And our mission in the future is to reverse the student flow. Right now, the students are moving from Sri Lanka to neighboring countries like India, Bangladesh or Nepal, and even to the Western countries. And there had been a massive amount of foreign exchange that we had to spend every year to finance those studies. Our mission here at BMS Campus is to reverse this trend, and we have started it in a very small way. Students from the Maldives had been using BMS Campus as one of their preferred learning institutes. And we have students from India, we have students from Pakistan, and we have set up branches outside Sri Lanka as well. So our future plan would be to expand the education system in Sri Lanka, which had been confined only to Sri Lanka, to outside Sri Lanka, so that we would be able to set up Sri Lanka as one of the leading educational hubs. We had this situation many years ago. I met, when I was in the central bank, an academic from Japan. He had been working at the University of Tokyo. He told me that he studied at the University of Ceylon immediately after the Second World War, and he studied economics under Professor H.K.S. Gulasekara. I asked him why he chose Sri Lanka instead of going to London. Because during that period, University of Ceylon was on par with University of London. The examination papers were exchanged by the two universities. Papers were set by the academics of both universities, and therefore there was no difference for a Japanese student to come to Sri Lanka and study in Sri Lanka doing the same degree, rather than going to UK and do the degree at University of London. And he was very proud at that time because he said that he had learned a lot from Professor Gunasekara when he studied in Sri Lanka. So that was the past. Our mission is to replicate that for the future. We will try to attract students from the region by being a center of excellence. For that, we have been supported by the best of the British universities. We are being provided by them the technical assistance, the teaching materials, and so forth. The quality standards that we maintain are on par with the quality standards maintained by any British university, and therefore we have a very good opportunity to make Sri Lanka an educational hub, which is a must given Sri Lanka's present level of economic development. I welcome all of you once again to this press conference, and we will be answering the questions that you may have, and also my colleagues at BMS will provide further details about the working of BMS and how BMS has been developed and so forth. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. 25-year journey and the legacy of BMS Campus will be presented by its founder director and chief executive, Mr. Nizam Razak, who is an attorney at law and records 3 decades of experience in the industry. Over to you, sir.
Distinguished guests of the head table and the members of the press, and I also welcome all of you. And briefly, I will briefly explain within the last 25 years how we have turned the institution with some unique features. We always have the concept of being the best is not enough. You got to go beyond that and to become a unique institution where you can serve the young people and also the busy people who want to qualify and gain new knowledge. One of the things which we have realized in the last couple of years is students sitting in a classroom for 3 hours and controlling themselves and concentrate on what being given to them as a new knowledge has become a challenging exercise. Therefore, we have continuously developed our teaching staff to deliver the teaching which is interesting, interactive, and impactful. So therefore, the learning environment which we have created for our students is more relaxed. And I would say they are ready and willing to interact with our lecturers so that the learning experience becomes enjoyable. Therefore, that facilitates for absorbing knowledge. So this is an area which we have been constantly working and become successful. Secondly, that we also see happy students learn better. We make the students become more happier. When you say more happier, we have seen that student teaching students are more effective than a teacher's teaching students. So that we make our students not only gain knowledge, but all the ability to teach the other students. In that process, we are developing skills, quality, and standard across our students. You can see our graduates are different. Different in every aspect because we concentrate on character building, skill building, working together, working with other people, even the time management, coming to classes on time, submitting assignment on time. These are qualities we have inbuilt into our graduate. That's why, like our president said, they are well employed. We also have a graduate support unit. If any one of our graduate is not employed, within 3 months we'll find a job for them. Because we know that all our career fairs, all our graduates are being well employed. The other part of the skill which we have been successful in the last 2 decades is that the research skills, where we create the research culture across the students, tutors, lecturers, and everyone in our institutions. For that, I think our local national universities helped us a lot, because through collaboration, they supported us to developing the research skills. I could proudly say 2 of our biomedical graduates, one has joined as a research associate or research assistant at Cambridge University, currently is there. The other one has joined as a research assistant at Oxford University. Both of them are employed now at the moment. That demonstrates how we have inbuilt the research skill into our graduates. And in the process, we are also have voluntarily submitted ourselves in numerous ways for quality standards. Now, our biomedical program has been approved by Institute of Biomedical Science UK. Our biotechnology program is accredited by Royal Society of Biology. All our business programs from Northumbria University have been accredited by AACSP, which makes the institution, Northumbria University, as the top 5% of the business schools in the world. So that the quality standards which we have voluntarily submitted and agreed and provided to our graduates and from our students. So that shows that is the unique features which we have built across the years of 25 years, where we stand as different than others. And more than that, another aspect is we also want to contribute, which we are looking for, creating new professions, where now world is changing very fast. Most of the jobs are no longer existing. New jobs are coming in, new trends are coming in, so that we need to come out with courses, contents, curriculum, and everything which suits the changing world, which we are very much involved in that. We are lobbying for a profession of scientist in Sri Lanka. The scientist has a huge demand all over the world. Medical scientist, laboratory scientist, you name it, scientist has become the word the world is asking for. Number of countries are giving PR within the 3-year period. So that our medical ordinance may be slightly amended to include a profession of scientist, just like the nurses, midwifery, and a profession of scientist, and that hundreds and thousands of our graduates will get well employed around the world. That will bring the valuable foreign exchange for us. So that we are also looking into, we are creating new profession for our people. And we will be introducing this year a course in a master's degree in cancer and molecular diagnostics. And we are also have already prepared MBA in digital transformation. We have already finalized with the University of Teesside MSc digital marketing. So that we are going with the trend. We will also look for programs which will create people and the force which we are in need, the regional need and the global need. We have number of examples. We are here, Mr. Tushan is here, and he's the CEO of Singer Finance. Like that, we have top CEOs we can name who are our graduates, who are proud graduates. We always look for them. So that in the 25-year period, we have developed the culture of newness, and we are also supported our students in numerous ways to face their challenges. And we are a happy family, happy students, happy graduates, and we are all waiting to another next 10 to 25 years to continue our journey and with much more impact than which we have done. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Nizam. BMS Campus has been in the forefront of collaboration to support the students in every aspect of their learning journey. In this regard, BMS Campus and Singer Finance have collaborated to introduce special student loans to facilitate the studies at degree and postgraduate level studies at BMS Campus. One of our proud graduates, Mr. Tushan Amarasuriya, Chief Executive Officer of Singer Finance PLC, will exchange Memorandum of Understanding with Dr. Manil Dimel, Dean of School of Management, BMS Campus. May I now request Mr. Tushan Amarasuriya to share a few words of his experience as a postgraduate MBA student from University of Leicester.
Good evening, members of the press, distinguished faculty, CEO and Chairman of BMS, Mr. Nizam. At the very outset, I would like to congratulate BMS on celebrating 25 years of education, providing education and opportunities to so many students of our country. So when I was invited today, I phoned Mr. Nizam and asked what he wants me to speak about. And he spoke about two things. He said, speak about your postgraduate studies that you did with us as a working adult, and also the importance of continuing your studies as an adult. So before I dwell into those two subjects, I must say that I'm not here to promote my company. Yes, we did sign an agreement and we are more than happy to provide funding for young graduates, for students, and we are very much committed to that task as well. So I first came to BMS about 12 years back, and at that time this building was not standing as it is today. There was a very lovely office just next door to this office, and I had, after completing my A-levels in 1999, obviously I didn't have sufficient marks to enter a local university because I was more interested in sports and many other things during my young adult life. So I chose to do an MBA while working. At that time, I was the CFO of Singer Finance. It's quite a tough job, being a finance head of any organization for that matter. And it's more so when it's a finance company. And I had decided that it's time for me to do an MBA. And at that time, my first child was also born. And you can, in your mind, understand how busy I probably would have been at that time. So I had to choose between perhaps a local university and a foreign university in selecting my MBA. So what I did first was to go for a recognized university. And at that time, BMS was offering the MBA offered by University of Leicester, UK. And that was a highly accredited university and a highly accredited MBA program at that time. So then I walked into this lovely office where Mr. Nizam still likes to work at. And as soon as I entered the office, I realized that this is a very organized place and they're very serious about what they're doing. And I didn't think twice, and I engaged myself. And of course, I didn't have any other option. I didn't have the option of going abroad, and I had to manage my time as well. And from there onwards, BMS provided me a lot of assistance and guidance to complete the MBA because it was a tough program, and I was working at that time. And at one stage, I almost thought of giving up. And however, they didn't allow me to give up. They were really focused and they wanted me to complete what I started. And if not for the faculty and the assistance given by Mr. Nisam and his team, I probably wouldn't have completed that MBA at that time. So that's the kind of facilities that BMS provides, being able to stay in the own comfort of your own country and your own home, and at an affordable price. I was able to complete that MBA. And it was challenging. As I said, my second child was also born before I completed the MBA. All the support and the motivation was provided by BMS to complete. Not only that, they also encouraged me to fly to England for certain programs, certain foreign universities. They offer you programs called summer programs, where you can go there, stay in the university faculty, experience the university, and also go through certain leadership programs and certain other very valuable programs that a young working professional like me or a young undergraduate can go through. I remember I selected myself, or I opted to go for a leadership program, and in that program I had many foreigners, Pakistani gentleman and a Swedish lady, Nigerian gentleman, an Italian, a British MBBS doctor, and I was very fortunate because I was able to lead that program. And that gave me a lot of confidence, because here I am suddenly out of the comfort of my own country, having to lead a set of multinational students in a program. And I remember I participated in similar programs during that summer internship, and I gained a lot. Again, that was facilitated by BMS, and even the visa process was facilitated by them, and I gained a lot. So as a young professional, these are the opportunities that you get when you go through a foreign educational degree or MBA program. And those are invaluable in your life because it did help a lot. And I, being an introvert myself, being able to come and talk with confidence is something that doesn't come naturally. So it is the education program that I was fortunate enough to go through that actually consolidated my confidence. And apart from that, the importance of continuing your education. I think as a working professional, people who are still employed should continue their education, because the moment you stop engaging yourself in learning or acquiring new skills, I believe that that's the point that you will actually stop growing as a professional, because the world is changing so fast and you need to keep up to date. So I completed my MBA in 2016, but about 8 years later, I engaged myself in another program. I'm currently undergoing that, but unfortunately, BMS doesn't offer that particular subject. But I still am studying along with my corporate life, because I believe that if you don't continue your professional or academic studies, you will find it difficult to compete, as the world is, as I said, is changing so fast. So I heard that they're offering a program in digital marketing, which is very important. Digital marketing is a very important area that is also futuristic, and also there's a lot to learn about artificial intelligence. I can share a story that I experienced yesterday. We found that our website a certain aspect of our website was not working yesterday. So it was a poor day, when I contacted our IT, they solved the matter in half an hour. They used ChatGPT to solve the problem. They wrote to ChatGPT and it gave the solution, which they obviously had to go into the complex scenario of a website, the back end of a website, and resolve that particular downtime that was persisting. So the world is so complicated. For you to navigate the complicated world and the progressive things that are happening in the world, you need to acquire new knowledge. Without that, you will not even know that you have the resources available at your fingertips to resolve certain issues. So just a small example. So I'm not going to speak for long. To conclude, I think the ability to study in your own country and the options that is given to do so is a blessing for anyone who is interested in acquiring knowledge and qualifying him or herself. Education is now very freely available. It's more affordable than what it was, and if you have the commitment and the interest to acquire what is available at your fingertips, the options are so widely open. So BMS is one of the most experienced entities that have been in this business for 25 years. And from the very bottom of my heart, I can sincerely express that they do a very sincere job of what they do. Acquiring wealth is not their objective. Their true objective is to disseminate education, as Dr. Vijayawardene said, and they have lived by it. And I have experienced that success and wealth is something which follows naturally. And when anyone does something sincerely, you will definitely succeed and you will continue to grow. So I have experienced that with BMS, and I wish you many more years of success, and may you have the courage to expand what you offer into more sciences, more other areas of studies that the future students will need at the comfort of their own home. So I conclude once again congratulating you on the occasion of your Silver Jubilee, and sincerely wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Tushan. We are always happy to listen to the parents and their feedback on their children's studies. We are honored to have the kind presence of Dr. Pradeep Vijayasinghe, Director of the Soisa Hospital for Women. Over to you, Dr. Pradeep Vijayasinghe.
Thank you very much, members in the head table and the members from the press. I'm delighted because my daughter is studying here, and just after the school education, we were looking for a decent, affordable university. And we went right around Colombo and looking for places. And just after London O-levels, she was willing to, and they are willing to offer a degree in nutrition and food science, which is a demanding field. So we were looking for a field which has a global demand and also a local demand. And being a girl, we thought of sending to a local university till she get the BSc degree. So this university offers a degree in food science, and which is very comprehensive program. I went through the details of the program, and they arrange the internship, and the exams are very tough, and the discipline they provide is, during this time, the young generation, if you let them be, they will go out of the way. But in this institution, the discipline is perfect, and the extracurricular activities, the leadership programs, and the internship they arrange. My daughter went to the ITI for 2 weeks, and now she's planning to do her research in the ITI. And they are well looked after in this institution, and this is the 25th anniversary, and during this short time they have expanded to many faculties, many departments, But I have given a few options also to the chairman, and I wish them good luck. Thank you.
Open the floor for questions.
Good evening. My question is to Dr. Vijayawardena. As you correctly said, we live in a global village. While living in a global village, we face global challenges day to day. So challenges are rapidly increasing. So opportunities are also rapidly in store in the future. So what kind of a strategy, Doctor, you have for the past and next 5 years towards the future generation, if you could elaborate a little bit on it? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. In fact, we are in a changing world. And the world around us is changing and we cannot stop it. All we can do is to adjust ourselves to the changing world. And in that context, education has a very important role to play to prepare ourselves to face the future challenges. What are the challenges that we might face? One challenge is that in this global village, as far as country's economic prosperity is concerned, it doesn't matter whether a person is working here within the territory of Sri Lanka or working outside. The new government is also planning to increase the foreign exchange flow to Sri Lanka, not by exporting the merchandise goods, but by exporting the human knowledge. Because Sri Lanka doesn't have natural resources like other countries, the only resource that we have, as I have always mentioned, is the neck top that we have, the brain power of the people. And for that purpose, Sri Lanka is planning to get the maximum out of the foreign remittances that would fill the foreign exchange flows of the country. In fact, you would have noted in the newspapers these days, they are very proudly announcing that the foreign exchange inflow by your remittances in every month, every successive month, is increasing in leaps and bounds. We are getting, say, $500 billion US dollars last month, and this month they say we are getting $550 million US dollars, and next month it will be 600 million. That comes by allowing our people to work outside. So that's why I said it doesn't matter whether they work in Sri Lanka or whether they work outside. As long as if we are in a position to attract the savings of these people back to Sri Lanka, and also like the present Vietnam is doing or present India is doing, to get them back to Sri Lanka with experience, with money, and with access to markets. In Vietnam, about 30 years ago, you would have noted people were fleeing out of that country in boats. They were branded as boat people. They went to Australia, they went to New Zealand, they set up businesses there. They earned good amount of money, and also they got the good experience as entrepreneurs. When Vietnam opened its economy about, say, 10 years ago, these people returned with money, they returned with experience, they returned with market access. And that's why Vietnam has earned our jealousy today, because we are jealous of the attainments of Vietnam. Same thing happened to India also. Indian students who had done their degrees well at the famous Indian Institutes of Technology and also Indian Institutes of Management, they went and worked in USA, in California, in the Silicon Valley, in Ireland, in England, in EU. But after the India opened for digital transformation, they came back to Bangalore and they set up the new Silicon Valley in Bangalore. What I can tell here is that when Sri Lanka opened its economy in 1977, we were the first to introduce computer science and computers to Sri Lanka. India was very behind us. But today, we have to get the Indian technology and Indian expertise to even develop our national identity cards. So that's the difference that we have here. So our preparation for future is that we are making our students to have a wider world outlook. Rather than having a narrow native outlook, we are opening the eyes of our students to have a wider world outlook. We always tell them that it doesn't matter whether you work in Sri Lanka, whether you work outside, as long as your commitment is back to Sri Lanka. That is because BMS is a multicultural, multi-ethnic and multi-religious community. As you have noted our anthem, the first time I think a local university is having an anthem in all the three main languages of the country. And as a result, we are building up a nation attitude where our people may not be working only in Sri Lanka. They may be either working here or working outside, as long as their loyalty and their commitment is back to Sri Lanka. That is what we want. So that's how we are planning to face the challenge in the next 5-year time period.
Hi, congratulations BMS family for your 25 years Silver Jubilee. And I have a question to the CEO, Mr. Nizam. Throughout your speech, actually the one word has derived nicely. It's all about the happiness, which even touches my heart as well. But today, in our younger generation, so most of them are like seeking their happiness through their mobile phones, right? So it become, I would say, it might be impacted to their studies as well. How are you going to overcome those challenges in BMS?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And the mobile phone is not only a problem for students, generally it's a problem. And I asked, one of the students' performance was a little less, so I asked, you better reduce your phone use because that can increase your performance. You tell your parents also. Then she said that my father uses phone more than me. So you tell my father first to reduce the phone. So that what we have been successful in working on these phones. The phone is phone culture, phone usage, and the performance have a direct link. Very strong link is there, so which we have found out. So we are very successful on that. One thing is that, as Dr. Pradeep said, discipline. Now we have told the student, discipline means self-love. You love yourself first. So that your discipline means self-love, and you love yourself first. The second is you're studying. You're studying a course. You like what you study. You love yourself, like what you study. And the pleasure you are getting in the phone. Yeah, I mean, when you get up early morning, first thing they see the phone. When you sleep, the last thing they see the phone. And during that, about 6 hours, they are on the phone. So phone controls, I think, all of us. And then we control the phone. So that we told them that the pleasure you get, phone gives you a pleasure. The pleasure you get, turn that slightly into learning. If you turn the learning into a pleasure exercise, That's why I said the happiness. So that the pleasure exercise, then you will compare your pleasure with the phone and the learning. So you find that you also find a place for learning. So that this we have been successful. So we used to say that study plan, when particularly when there is a, say for example, a resit in a study, we give a study plan. The study plan is that when they go home, 6:30 to 9 o'clock, they have to off the phone. So that the off the phone, they have to write that and give it in writing and give it to us. So most of them do that, write and give it. Said I'll 6:30 and 9 phone. Some of the particularly the boys have said that I will give the phone to my mom 6:30 to 10. So that is happening. So that's happening. And we see this when these children are being controlling the phone, using the phone less, automatically parents are also getting guilty and they are also not using the phone too much. So that we find that there is a very good formula we have developed. We have created a formula that is through the students, we are disciplining the parents also. So that altogether, we just can't tell a student, don't use the phone. They get angry. We can't tell they use the word addiction. If you say you're addicted, they get angry. And only thing we can tell them, you off the phone for a few hours, because that pleasure which you get when you get a distinction, how you get a pleasure. When you go to the graduation, you see your mom is first time having tears through happiness. So don't you think you want to see that? You want to see your mom comes tears because this is very happy about it. So that's the day she will think that the worth of giving birth to you. So the question is that, so we continuously encourage them and develop the liking to learning. For that, they have to do a little sacrifice. That is this offing the phone. We are highly successful and very much successful. And students have come and thanked us for disciplining them and developing that self-love for them. And thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My question is also directed at Mr. Dizan. My question is a two-part, actually. First part, ChatGPT, Claude AI, Gemini AI are all popular generative AI and large language models currently existing in the world. What is BMS Campus's stance on its students using generative AI on completing their assignments? Where does BMS draw the line in its students' work sufficiently reflecting their efforts? Part two, what is BMS Campus's long-term plans on incorporating artificial intelligence into its lecturing methods?
Yeah, actually, the artificial intelligence, GPT, has become an issue. Even top universities have not settled yet. That when all of them are being thrown the artificial intelligence, they really don't know what exactly to do. But artificial intelligence, being AI, is being used for learning is a good thing. So where for learning you can use AI. So that we are encouraging students to do use AI, but we have very cleverly, would say, have ensured the academic integrity. That's in not to using the AI into the assessment. So very clever on that. What we have done is that there's a compulsory draft submission of two draft submission compulsory, and then first and the second draft. First draft had to be submitted to the tutor, and the tutor will ask questions on what the contents are. And he will read and ask contents. We know who has done it. So we ensure in the process, the work, particularly the assessment, the assignments are being done by the student. So that's we have been doing that into, that's one. And the second is that now I think slowly the Turnitin and AI sort detection software have come, which with our universities we have been thorough on that, so that now it's compulsory and mandatory. They have to put up the Turnitin and AI report with their assignments. So that I don't say that nobody is using it. Student using it, when using it, you from the language pattern you can understand. That means some of them in a French English and then the British English, and then you will see a Sri Lankan English, so that we could find out. So that stage we are doing it in the draft stages, then the Turnitin and the software. So I think as it goes on, the detection software also may not work. That in another 5 years, 6 years time, students will find or techniques to avoid those software. So that it will be a very challenging question. For the time being, we are well under control, and we are very happy to say that our students are more ethical in presenting. But so we have developed that discipline of ethics and integrity already, so that we have less problem in comparing to problems around the world. And thank you.
So this question is for Dr. Mate. Do you provide special support, and how do you get students to perform better and give them skill development?
Thank you for the question. I think we are famous for the student support and then again skill development. So I would say we do have a one-to-one session. For an example, we do work with students in order to get the academic excellence and also research career development. So what we do is we make sure that our students would get jobs after their honors degree, and also so that they could pick the better universities and also the better place to work according to their wish. And then again, when it comes to skills, that the BMS is I think is famous for research, and we are closely working with Northumbria University. The professors are closely working with us, and also they are mentoring us. So recently, I would say that one of our students who had worked on a project which is with the bean leaves. Bean leaves is like a waste product. So with that she has synthesized silver nanoparticle, and then again with the silver nanoparticle, she could able to detect melamine, which is the plastic which they adulterate in milk, which is a very bad thing for our kidney and also for our digestive system. So then again, she won the Royal Society of Biology top accreditation project award, and then again we've been getting this top project award for last 2 years. So that means that our research skill is like high standard. So at BMS that we do have lots of research area, and then again we have state-of-art laboratories. So what we do is we make sure that each and every student would get hands-on experience. So for an example, some students, they won't be able to come for maybe a research day or maybe a maybe on the laboratory day. But then again, we would make sure that we would give them a chance for them to redo it, or maybe if they want to repeat again, we would give them a chance, so then again they would get that hands-on experiment. So as a scientist, they have to learn, they have to work in the laboratory, they have to get these hands-on experiments in order to become a proper scientist. So we do give that, and then again we do support them, and also we encourage our students to go and then again participate in international and also local conferences. And also we do have like student exchange program where that we send our students to foreign countries, and also we do have some students, they came from foreign countries, and then again we are exchanging research culture. So I would say that in BMS, and we have a very, we would say, a thick research culture, and also we are encouraging our students to get into this research and innovation. And recently also we did have like an Innovate Expo, and most of the students have excelled, and then again they have brought a very good products, and then again they have showcased their talents. And not only that, we wanted our students to balance their studies with the extracurricular activities. At BMS, we do have extracurricular activities like sports, and also we have societies, and also recently we did have this BMS Got Talent, and then again they could showcase their talents and also skills, and we make sure that we have group activities and also case studies, and also they could excel in their teamwork. So thereby we could bring our student into a better product for their better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. May I call upon Dr. Manil Dimel to declare word of thanks.
BMS President, Dr. Vijayavadara, members of the head table, our leading academics from state universities, guests from corporate sector, and all our friends from all the leading media institutions in Sri Lanka. The year 2024 was a historic year for us. We are celebrating 25 years of Silver Jubilee. So throughout the year, we had a series of activities planned. And today is a very important day because today we are speaking to one of the most important sectors in our society, the media. So it's my duty to show our gratitude, appreciation to all our guests, special guests, and for all the ladies and gentlemen who are present here from the media. After the national anthem, I would like to invite all of you to go to our rooftop to join us for cocktails. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. May I now request to raise for national anthem.